And then I think that one we would eat first.
What?
Guys, it's a joke.
Nah, David's cannibal. Leave it in the comments. Don't you ever wonder, like, why don't we eat dogs and cats?
Off. The pill.
Oh, we got clappy claps.
Clappy claps.
And welcome back to another episode of Off the Pill podcast. Oh, normally Paco's here. He plays it's fine. Today we have Will with. Okay,
I'm new here.
we have Will.
Hi guys.
And Will's back, and we have David, who's also come back. He was on our second episode, I believe.
And then I got kicked out.
Yeah, he got so David. David hit me up after that episode. He's like, dude, people hate me. That's what you said.
People did hate me because I was so passionate about Apple.
Well, there was that, and they said,
and I talked over you.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Well, I mean, I don't think you have to apologize. At the time, the funny thing is, like, even for me, like, there's a lot of things I didn't notice I did until we started doing this.
Yeah.
It's true because when we normally converse, it's like we are pretty much talking like over each other all the time, but you don't really notice it until you watch it on film.
Being in front of a camera, it's very different than in person.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, but the thing is, like, I think a lot of people don't realize, like, they were like so irritated that you kept staying on that and seeing not like, you know, maybe you had your point of view and it seemed like you weren't. You were trying to prove your point. I was trying to prove my point, and we just kept clashing. Yeah, and we're talking over each other.
And I was also low key trolling just a little bit.
You were trolling in the beginning, especially, but I think you know. Well, now you know that people don't like it.
People don't like me trolling. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a naturally.
Did you see the comment?
What?
The comment you left?
I forgot what I wrote. Like, I apologize. I won't do it again or something like that.
Dude, you should do it again.
I should just, what? I should do it again?
No.
What? Huh? People probably already hate me. They're like, damn it, why is David back on the podcast?
People don't know that David's actually incredibly funny, but what do you call that? It's just dry, like dry humor.
I have dry humor. People think I'm an asshole.
But it's
just
so
the way
funny.
I look.
It's so funny.
Like, how do you explain that? Like, most people, like, when you first meet David, it's like you almost have to do a disclaimer, I feel like, because you're so blunt and like.
I'm honest. I like to be honest.
You are very honest, yeah.
But I mean it in a. I'm honest in a nice. I try to be nice.
Yeah.
I think I'm mean. Am I mean?
No, I don't think you're mean at all.
But you do say things that most people be like, "Ooh, he really said that." I mean, it's true.
But it's things that people are thinking. I just say it because I feel like if
it's better.
I don't know. It's like better to say it than to just hide it and pretend that you're not really thinking it.
That's true. I guess that's. I mean,
but sometimes I do assume as well that people are thinking something, and I say it, and then I may be wrong.
What?
Like
I'm just kidding.
Just feeding me troll lines.
I'm trying to get you going again. But I mean, I just felt like I should have brought that up because last time there was so much negativity, and I think people misunderstood you. Mm-hmm. And you were, how did that? I mean, you were like actually kind of down from that for a little bit.
I was a little like, because I don't know if your audience knows. I actually also make YouTube videos. I feel like some people don't even know that. They probably think I'm just. I mean,
they know that. Well, David makes a lot of the songs. He makes all the BGA songs. We collab a lot because David actually started before me making music, and then you also did like little like vlogs and skits.
Vlogs, I was a YouTuber.
Yeah, you're a YouTuber.
I've
like
stopped
one of the
for a while.
earliest actually. Yeah. We talked about it on the JR podcast how he saw you first and you kind of inspired him. But you're like grandfather YouTube. You're like a year before me.
Old guy.
Even. Yeah, old man.
I got some white hairs here, as you can see.
But traditionally, because your brand is so clean and your music's like really nice and it's like love music and happy music. I mean, it is what it is.
Thanks, guys.
People have always been, from what I've seen, like I've gotten way more hate than you've ever gotten throughout your career, I think, until that podcast.
It's because dude, that was the most hate I've ever gotten on YouTube. But
fun, huh?
But
fun, yeah.
It's because you had a larger. I think like the bigger your audience gets, it's. But I think for the most part, you'd get a lot of great comments because you put so much work. Oh yeah, I want to bring this up because I've been watching all the podcasts very closely. You know the one that Arden was on the last episode. Yeah. She mentioned how much you work.
Two episodes ago.
Or 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
that is absolutely true. I mean, for some of the listeners.
Why are you bringing that up?
I mean, no, because I think like the success that you've had on YouTube, it's because of your work ethic. You know, just for the listeners, I know I come out to Ryan's house probably once every,
like once a month,
once every 2 months, and you know, he wakes up, he starts writing, and then we eat some lunch, and then he goes back to writing. He does that almost every day if he's not shooting. You know, I as a friend want him to have a good life as well. So I try to, you know, I'll be like, hey, let's go out to, let's get some food outside of your home instead of postmating it.
You're just adding on to what Arden said about me.
I am, but I have to put it.
Loser that just doesn't leave.
You're not
his
a
house.
loser, but yes, it's true. Ryan does not leave his home.
Wow.
He works hard. But you know what? Your success is deserved, well deserved, because you do put so much time and energy to create content for your fans. I think that's why, you know, you make great content.
Well, thanks.
Well said, David.
I think you tried to shift the focus away from your feelings. Because we were talking about how you felt when you got all that hate for the first time. And it also, because it also once brings up something me and Will were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So how did that? I mean, that was really the first time you got that much hate.
I felt
people were yelling at you.
Yeah.
Comments.
I was triggered. I was definitely triggered.
Were you triggered or were you sad? Because there's a difference.
I think you felt misunderstood, so he was a little mad.
Triggered is kind of like...
I felt misunderstood.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt that people, like, you know, the internet's very quick to judging. You know, I consider myself a pretty nice person in general. And when a nice person is getting hate, you just feel like...
It's unfair.
You feel like, why?
Why me?
Yeah, yeah.
What did I do? Did I kick a dog?
But the interesting thing is that you're so used to and analytical about being on YouTube and understanding how, you know, even if it's a bunch of people, it's still a minority and people disliking you. I was surprised that most times you would just kind of shrug that off because you understand like hate's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it happen to you that much.
It's because I've been gone from YouTube for so long and I forgot what it feels like
to get hate.
To get hate.
Let alone that much hate.
That much hate, yeah. Yeah.
Do you see it from their perspective?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of those comments.
So you know, so when you say why me, it's like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit my faults and things that I've done wrong in the past, like, you know.
Honestly, I didn't even notice it
Me
until
neither.
I watched it back. And I was like, oh, he is kind of doing that. After I saw the comments, I was like, oh, I didn't even really notice it because that's just how we talk.
Yeah.
Like me and David, we don't like argue, but we believe in something. We're not
go hard.
We're not going to just agree with you to make you feel good.
Sure.
I
Yes.
think that's dishonest.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're both like that.
Yeah. Very blunt.
Yeah,
in a
and I
way.
disagree with everything you just said right now.
Well, okay.
There's the troll David coming out.
I know, exactly.
Kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
Nah, you don't have to do this. Gamers. Just be you. All right. That brings me to what we were talking about almost like about. We just saw the Kevin Hart thing on Joe Rogan. He just did this thing. You want to bring that up because I thought that was super interesting what we were talking about.
Yeah, I think I just saw it today. It was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He had Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart had a super insightful explanation and like point of view from to talk about how do I want to say this, like being affected by the comments, right? You know, if he has videos online or whatever. And he was basically just saying, I mean, he was kind of bagging on people that, you know, comment mean comments essentially, and saying, you know, how do you have so little time
or so much time?
So much time to sit there and like formulate thoughts and then sit there and type something negative.
Like, what's the purpose?
Yeah, like what's the purpose? Like, and especially for someone like Kevin Hart who never stops working and he's always doing something. You know, his point of view was like really, really smart, and I really felt it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about like what he was saying? Because I think it applies to like, you know, what David was saying too. But the thing is, I think he gets it on such a bigger level than any of us. That
right.
It's like you have to like figure it out at some point, or you're gonna go crazy. Like, because if you had that every day, you would have to figure out how to deal with that, or else you'd probably like be depressed and kill yourself.
Or you wouldn't make videos altogether.
Yeah, like you would be so sad and mad all the time. It would ruin your life. You would have to figure out how to deal with that.
I mean, yeah, that's basically what I took from it, was just kind of looking at their perspective of like, okay, it's probably someone who maybe is a little negative or not doesn't just has a ton of time and they're not really working hard on something on their own side. You know, that's kind of what I took from it. And I mean, especially for someone like you too, you're a very busy person too. It's like, you got stuff to do, positive things to focus on. And I just felt like he had such a smart, like articulative, is that the word?
Articulate response.
Yeah. Like he just thought about it in such a, I don't know, such a smart way.
I mean, it's something similar to I've not really addressed it. I've said it in vlogs before, but I didn't make a whole video about it. But the reason behind someone leaving something so negative is because, the reason why anyone does anything is for themselves.
Yep.
Like you always do it because you think it's going to make you better. Not a better person, just make you feel better, or it's you. That's the reason why everyone does everything.
You want to feel significant, yeah.
Yeah, so it's even if you make someone mad, it'll make you laugh. Or maybe they're doing it because they feel so bad about themselves that they want other people to feel that pain.
Yep.
That's what I think. Because I've felt that before. I've felt like I wanted to leave like a negative comment somewhere just because if I was like that person, I know that I would be getting these comments and no one's leaving it. You know, I know if like I said that, I know I would get these negative responses, and it makes me want to be like, man, no one's saying the negative thing that I know that would be said if I said it.
Right.
You know, just because they're not popular or whatever it is. So, I mean, I understand it. Not that I would do it, and I don't, because obviously I think matured past that. But I can see if I was a kid that didn't really do YouTube and I was like upset with my life, and it doesn't mean anything. I'm anonymous. Nobody knows. Nobody's gonna know.
Right.
I would write some. I would probably be I would be I would be a troll.
There's power behind having the internet in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Being unseen, and like you said, what I wonder from your guys' perspective is, should people be allowed to have write bad comments and be trolls?
Yeah. What do you mean? Yes.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing. I don't honestly think people need to understand. I think you know what the difference is I grew up playing games, and I know you did too.
Yeah.
And it's so filthy. Like it's like the worst things you'll ever hear people say to you. Like way worse than some comments you read, that you become almost like, for me, it's just like, oh, that's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's a joke. You know, it doesn't even hurt me. It's so bad that it's a joke. The ones that really do hurt is when, and it's not necessarily hurt, but like when it's a critique and it's actually well thought out. And it's like, man, that's kind of true. There's truth to it. That's where it kind of hurts. And like,
that's when you get triggered more, because it's well thought. They analyzed who you are as a person.
Right.
They got deep inside, and they're like, oh wait, whoa.
But in a way, I don't think that's bad either. I think that's good.
Yeah, sometimes I would agree.
I don't like it, but nobody likes it. But I like critiques.
Constructive criticism.
That's how I learn. Like I disagree with Joe Rogan. He always says, don't read the comments. He tells all his guests, like, why do you guys read don't read tweets. Don't read the comments. I disagree with that. I think I've learned throughout all the years and tried to improve because of the comments. And learning, like, and not taking everything at face value. Yeah. His perspective is like, hey, if you're gonna get offended by the comments, it's gonna change your comedy. And I understand that. But you just have to know what to listen to and what not to. Yeah. I get where he's coming from. But he always instructs his guests, like, and people who get affected by that, to not read the comments. And I don't agree with that completely. So I saw recently that there was and I only talk about this because we just flew on it. There was a thing about Southwest and how, what was it? Their shares got downgraded or something like that because of the recent, what was that crash to Ethiopian Airlines?
Yeah.
It was the new, so the Boeing jet is apparently the second crash of that same type of jet in the same, in less than half a year. Yeah. And I know. And the only reason I'm thinking about it is because remember that Will and I just took a flight to go actually to record with David, and we had the crazy. It was one of the craziest flights I've ever been on, where it felt like we were on a roller coaster. You know when that feeling when you go down your
stomach,
drop,
right? Yeah.
And it felt like that for a good sometimes at 5 seconds at a time. It felt like we were falling. Like the seat wasn't we weren't touching the seat. It felt like obviously we were
probably for 15 minutes. I would say a long time.
constant
up and down. But there was some moments where that drop feeling. It didn't seem like we were dropping, but you had that feeling of being in the air for like 5 seconds at a time. And I was like, this is the craziest thing. This is not normal.
Were people freaking out in the plane?
There was some kids screaming, and like, there's some people screaming. But it was, they did warn us, and it was super windy. So I'm going to attribute it to that, you know, and logically I'm thinking, I don't normally get bothered by that stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. And I know the statistics too. Like I know that it's like, actually I don't know the statistics, but I know it's like like 10 million or something like that, the chance that you're going to crash.
Right.
Right. It's super slim.
But you think about it every time you fly, I'm sure, right?
I think about it not every time.
I think about it every time I fly.
I probably think about it.
I don't really think about it.
Even for like a slight second. Like,
slight second, I'll be like, I could down this flight, but whatever.
I've had a flight when I was like, I wasn't even like depressed. I was just like really not having a good day. I was like, I don't even care if it crashes.
Wow.
Is that sad?
That's a really bad
No,
day.
I really had that.
Damn,
I was
that was a
having a
bad
very
day.
bad day. I think it was like girl problems.
You know what, girls?
But I had that feeling. I remember thinking on the plane, I was like, I don't even care if it crashes.
So on top, like that, the bumpy thing, like
Yeah.
you said, it was super windy. I think there is something specific to like a region though, that because I think flying in and out of like Vegas is pretty notoriously bad.
Right.
And it's something to do with like the temperature difference.
hills,
Yeah.
maybe?
And we like go over like the hills into California or wherever.
But it's never been that bad for me. That was crazy.
That was bad.
And then I read this article and I was like, okay, this is the second one in 6, and it's the same kind of jet, right?
Yeah.
A Boeing, a Boeing 7. Wait, was it? I don't know. You know what it is. Those jets. It's a very common one. It's a second crash in 5 or 6 months or something like that. And what they're saying is they're stopping production on those jets right now, and they're saying it because those crashes were attributed to. Oh, investigators suspect faulty data feeding into the aircraft's automated flight system.
That's crazy.
So it's a known problem. Yeah. So like, who knows? Like, I mean, I don't know if I can be talking about this because I don't want to spread fake news. But I saw this article.
Yeah.
And I mean, would you fly south? I mean, like that's what I fly.
I'm already flying on it
I know.
this week.
You know what? It's not even about the airline because all airlines have Boeing airplanes.
Well, it's that specific one, I guess.
Yeah, no, but that specific Boeing airplane is sold to Southwest, JetBlue, United, like all these.
So does each airline have the same, pretty much exactly same?
I don't know.
I don't know if they have the exact same planes, but like for example, the Boeing 737, most airlines use the 737. Yeah,
I think that's what it was. I think that's the plane they're talking about. But like if they're having that, I mean, I never really like, even if there is a plane crash, it's okay, 10 million more flights and it won't happen until another 10 million or whatever that number is. But the fact that it's happened and they're acknowledging there's an actual problem, I feel this is the first time I actually feel like, damn, this is risky.
Yeah, and it's such a short period of time, 5 to 6 months, 2 plane crashes.
It could just be an outlier.
Gosh,
Yeah.
that just makes me feel uneasy.
I know all the people who are about to have a flight coming up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's.
Oh yeah, you have a flight coming up. Yeah.
Man,
Jeez.
good luck.
Good luck, dude.
Thanks, guys.
But on a brighter note, I don't know. I went kind of dark there. Talked about wanting to crash one time and, and all these other crashes. R.I.P. to all the people. It's killed like the whole. I think everyone on board, like over 100 something people.
Wow.
It's really sad and scary.
My worst nightmare.
Seriously. Yeah.
That's your worst nightmare.
When I'm on the plane, there are times when I've been on like probably hundreds of planes, and there are a lot of moments where I'm just thinking, what do I do if it crashes into the ocean?
I've thought of
crashes
that.
into the forest. What if I'm the only one alive? I don't know why I think like I'm the only one alive, because I guess if you're dead, you wouldn't be thinking about it, but like
Yeah.
you wouldn't even be in that situation.
Right.
Like, it wouldn't matter, right? But if you're alive, then it does matter because you could still survive.
Sure.
Right.
And
I definitely think about that.
I get really deep, like, oh, the smoke's in the cargo, so I gotta like crawl out of the plane. And then what if I like scrape my knee on a seat and I'm bleeding and it
So
gets
specific.
infected and I'm in the middle of forest? And
Do you guys do this? Like this is true. I'm not saying this because it's funny. Whenever I'm like waiting for my flight and people are like lining up and you see who's on your flight, do you guys look around? I look around.
Yep.
And I'm like, I think like if we get started, like if we're like on Lost,
Yep.
you know,
I
and
want
think,
that
like,
on my team. That
yeah,
guy on
I'm
my
like,
team.
this guy, I know he looks trustworthy. I think about that.
Me
Is that
too.
weird? Okay,
I think about it
do you
too.
do that? I
Yeah.
think it's. Oh, you do.
do.
So maybe everyone does that.
And then I think, oh, that one we would eat first.
What? You go that far? I think you're making a joke, but
I know everyone's gonna think I'm seriously like a cannibal now.
see, I didn't even know you were joking.
I'm joking.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I'm joking, guys. It's a joke.
nah, David's a cannibal. Leave it in the comments.
So I feel like you should strive to be that guy at the airport.
Dude, now everyone's gonna write David's a cannibal in the comments.
Yeah, but you know why? I just told them to. Why is that gonna hurt you? Is that gonna hurt your feelings?
Well, it's better than saying that I'm.
Okay, David's a cannonball. Is that better?
How about a cannonball cannibal?
How about a can of balls?
Oh my
Hey, I like that one the best. You know what? I
cannonballs.
accept that one more than cannibalism because cannibalism is a very.
Do you think that's? I mean, like, if you were in that
horrible thing.
situation, it's not. Is it wrong
to eat someone?
if you're surviving? Like, is cannibalism illegal? I would assume.
I
In some states,
don't know the laws on it, but I would assume yes.
I would assume. Like, I mean, if someone had already died, right?
I would
and then-
assume it's probably illegal.
yeah, I would assume so as well.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
Please don't eat me.
No,
after
but
I
like
die.
if you were say you were surviving on an island and they're like, how did you survive? And like, honestly, this guy passed away, and we ate him. Do you go to jail for that?
You know what? I don't think it's illegal.
I don't-
Because I remember. No, I read an article. I think it was on Vice where a guy had to get his foot amputated, and he did a tasting for his friends. This is a real thing. This is real. Like
Whoa.
he actually like I think he probably cooked it on like the stove. And this is disgusting topic.
This
by the way.
is disgusting. But keep going.
But like it's on Vice. You could look it up. Chopped it off, and he did a tasting for his friends. And I think he made like
Did he tell them?
skewers. Yeah, of course.
Oh.
I think they had to sign something, and people ate it.
his own foot.
His foot.
Well, I mean,
Dude,
it's your
that
own
is-
property, right?
He ate his own foot, and
Okay, so then it's not illegal.
and his
then.
friends ate his foot.
It's not illegal.
Well, he had them sign something. Maybe that's the legal document.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But,
So man. oh
okay.
my
Well, now we
gosh.
know. Okay, we're sorry, David. You can be a cannibal if you want.
You know what, Ryan? If you had to,
Cannibals.
if you had like a little tasting event, I probably would try a little piece of your foot.
You would try my foot.
As a friend, I would do it.
Why would
Not that I'm doing you a favor or anything.
You're not. Like, you're eating my foot. Like,
Would you, Will? Would you eat his
No,
foot?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't even
Honestly-
take a taste.
No, I would maybe smell it.
You know what? Would I eat it? I'd probably smell it first.
you know what's
Second
funny though?
guessing.
Like,
Figure it out.
You know what's funny though? Like, I saw that this meme. It was kind of like, where do you draw the line? And it's like a picture of like a dog, a cat, a cow, and like it was like a vegan thing. Like, where
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
you shouldn't be eating any animals.
Yeah.
And like, why do we draw the line at like cats and dogs and domesticated animals? Basically, like, is that what a domesticated animal is?
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that would live in a house and
Yeah, with human beings. Yeah.
Right. So like dogs and cats and like I forget what else is there, like
Lizard,
fish.
parakeets.
No,
parrots,
you would eat
birds,
fish and stuff. The
snakes.
stuff that are on the safe side,
Specific birds.
on the other side of the line.
Just cats and dogs, hamsters.
Yeah, and then
Well,
but
it's
it made me
different per
wonder.
culture.
Yeah, it made me wonder. Like, I get we have pets, right? But like, don't you ever wonder like why don't we eat dogs and cats? And like, I mean, like, is there an actual reason why that happened over time? Like, and then why do we eat cows? Like, do you know what I mean?
That's gonna be like a good soundbite right there. Why don't
What?
we eat dogs and cats?
And
Yeah, and we're Asian.
And you're
too, so it's
Asian,
like-
exactly. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, you know.
I think
Damn,
it's
we're racist.
It's dependent
racist.
on like how much time throughout like history we've spent with them, and so over time, you know, through the domestication of dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
Since we've spent so much time with them, they've left kind of the realm of our food, if that sounds, you know, if that's okay to say, into the realm of helping us. I think
Being
you know,
companions.
Yeah.
companions.
So
yeah, and, like,
I always thought it was because they show love. Like dogs have like loving, like they don't attack us.
well, cows
but
show
me-
love.
Do they though?
Dude, cows are freaking cute. They're
Really?
they like jump in the air and they wiggle and they'll cuddle with you.
What? Do you have a cow?
No, but you never seen like those videos of like them like being super
No.
cute?
I lived by a pasture and they were just smelly. And
Wow.
I would feed them like tea leaves and stuff. And I would keep my distance because they're all like drooling and slimy and there's like thousands of flies on them.
I think, I mean, I don't want to sound too, I don't know. I would assume most animals can show compassion in one way, or at least we can interpret
Okay.
it in compassion.
And then also
Right.
they probably learned that over time, I'm sure, right? Like
Yeah, I think definitely domesticated animals have, or at least dogs specifically, have learned and what to do to kind of make us
they
like go like,
maybe they
"Aw."
evolved that way.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a dog who wags its tail has been bred more than a dog that doesn't, and so that's what has essentially became like, oh, they're happy.
But what I mean is like, at what point in time did they say, oh, these guys are, let's keep this one as a companion. This this wolf that's kind of like a dog is not good. Like, this is not a good animal to we can still eat that wolf.
That's
we can kill that wolf.
That's exactly.
But we won't kill this dog.
Why we have the dogs is because there was someone that made a decision saying, this dog didn't bite me.
But maybe it's because
this dog did.
Maybe it's because dogs, they tried it eating them and they didn't taste good.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably a big part of it too.
But there are places in the world where people still do eat canine like animals.
Yeah. So then my next question is,
Asia.
Would you guys eat? I mean, you would clearly try dog and cat.
You would
try.
I would try human before I would try a dog or a cat.
Really?
That is weird. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't really believe either. I'm trolling again.
No, like
I would try it. I would try it because I'm just a very curious person. And look, if in the past, if 100 years ago, people, humankind survived because they were eating dogs and cats or whatever animal for that matter, and if that was something that kept them nourished and gave them energy to live life and to procreate, then you know what? I got to respect that. And I mean, if an alien came down here and said, why do you guys eat these large, disgusting animals? Why do you eat a pig that eats its own poop? Like, why are you eating these dirty animals, An alien could come down and say that, and we wouldn't have a good answer for it. I mean, we could say it tastes good, but I mean, I've never tried dog or cat, so I can't say if it tastes good. What if we try it and it's really good,
It could be. I mean, I don't know.
Do you think you'd be able to try it?
I think if I was in a dire situation, I would, but I wouldn't want to, just for the fact of saying that if, people know that I ate a dog or a cat.
And I
have dogs.
Yeah, so and I think the three of us, we love dogs. I mean, I'm a huge dog lover. I like dogs more than people sometimes. And but I would try it out of respect to those who have, it's like if it's a part of their culture or whatever, I would just try it, but I wouldn't feel good about it because I love dogs. I think they're one of the best, things that the world has to offer to human beings.
I don't think I could. As much as I kind of want to side on with what you're saying,
even if you were starving.
Well, that's completely different. I think if I had like the
option,
like if we were on a trip or whatever, and it was to not disrespect someone or something, I'd have to. I don't know. I'd have to respectfully decline in the most respectable way.
I think that's okay.
Because it would. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's kind of. I think most people would say that.
But it's different too because some people think. I'm sure there's places in the world where some people think, how do you eat cows or how do you eat this? And it's on that same side. They have either like a religious reason or a reason like of morality, right? Yep. And so, I don't know. Who am I to say that they're wrong in that culture?
Yeah. Actually though, when I hear about like and see videos of like when those videos trying to make you a vegan.
Yeah.
Like I think I agree with a lot of their points.
Sure.
But I think I'm too selfish to give up something I love that much.
That's a super honest thing to say.
I know. I agree. I'm like, this is messed up what they're doing to these animals. But like, because I'm not seeing it every day, I think that's why, like, it makes me feel bad.
Right.
But then I don't change. And I think that's selfish. But like that's also part of my upbringing. Like I wasn't taught this. Had I been taught this from when I was a little kid, I think it would be different. I think I would have grew up differently. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel like that's like I agree actually with a lot of what vegans. I know you don't necessarily think the same way, but I agree with a lot of like what do you call those farm? I don't know. I think it's okay to eat meat.
Right.
I don't think it's okay to do what they do to get that meat.
You're talking about slaughterhouses.
Yeah, slaughterhouses in
industry
masses.
in general.
But I know that it's necessary to keep humans alive.
Yes and no, I would think.
I mean, if you look at the
don't you think it is necessary in terms of like the food? There's already people starving, and if you were to get rid of that,
yeah, I think it's more so. At least the way I look at it is just the way that it's there. I think there is a morally sound way to like farm animals.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And there are tons and tons of people to do it. Yeah. But once you start getting into this mass scale, a lot of those things that I value, the importance of them goes down. And so, I mean, when it comes to like me, my own personal opinion on it, I don't really buy like those, the the wrapped meats in the store because I really want to have at least some sense of like, okay, I know where this steak is coming from, or I know like what the conditions are. You know what I mean?
And I think that you have a choice, and you're exercising the choice. And I think the markets, if enough people make the same decision as you do, they say, I don't want this like mass produced whatever meat. I want this meat that was where the animals were treated better.
Right.
I think if a lot of people request that, the market will adjust to it. Before people didn't care about organic stuff. Now they do because people are requesting it. And also, it's in terms of like the right way of treating animals, to turn them into food. I think any way you do it, I mean, there are better ways than
it's more
it's always
ways.
it's always going to be brutal at the end of the day because you're killing an animal.
Sure.
Right? You look at the animal kingdom. A tiger, attacks a deer. It's gruesome. It is. And that's just the circle of life. And we need to eat.
Yeah. But the difference is though that the deer has an opportunity to get away. Right?
Yeah.
The deer isn't. You're not putting the deer in a cage and then sending a tiger into the cage.
Sure.
So I mean, not that the deer will get away. I'm just saying like it's a little different because their whole life. I think that's what people are. That's the inhumane part about it is like if they didn't have brains or thought or feelings or anything, I think it'd be fine for people.
Yeah,
it was just a slab of meat that grows bigger with no consciousness.
Right. But I think a lot of the hardcore vegans. Like PETA, they don't even want you to even kill any animal.
No, yeah, I know, but so. I don't necessarily agree with that. But I do agree with slaughterhouses and stuff like that. When you see them going through pain and stuff like
production,
that. Yeah, I think there's better ways you could probably do that, and that's not as natural. But I also understand. I've seen the argument on the other side of like, well, people would starve.
Yeah,
right. I don't know if that's true, but I mean,
it could be.
I understand. Yeah,
it could be. We don't really know.
So the funny thing is that people get so upset and triggered over things like this, right? And that's why I'm trying to be a little careful. But in all reality, and I thought about this before, all these like issues we have with, if you really bring it back to its foundation, and I always think like this: I know it's not good, but if you really bring everything back and like if there was war, if there was chaos, if there was an alien alien invasion, and we're trying to survive, nobody's gonna care. Like if people are starving, we're just fortunate. We're in a fortunate enough place in life to worry about these little minuscule things. Not saying that it's minuscule,
right?
But like if like shit was going down, right, and everyone's trying to survive, and it's every man for themselves, right? There's chaos, the world is ending. Those same people would not be like, hey, we can't. I don't think so. I don't think
they'd be focused on surving.
Yeah.
Basic human needs.
They could still be vegan, but they wouldn't be like, hey, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, we live in a society where we have the luxury of making
decisions about
first world problem decisions, like I don't like the color of this whatever,
like organic versus GMO.
Yeah,
like if you were like give the people in Walking Dead like GMOs, like in that world, GMO genetically modified. That option of having food, like constant food coming in,
right?
And then raising cattle and then putting them in cages and stuff so that they can get food. You wouldn't say like, oh my gosh, you're immoral. You'd be like, they're trying to survive.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're in a place where we're lucky enough where we don't need that. That's why we can complain about it.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's got to eat and everyone's got to pee. So on that note,
break.
Speaking of,
has it been 30 minutes?
Shishi break.
Is it halfway?
Yep.
All right. I guess you want to send us off? Oh, okay.
What do you want to say?
No, I thought he was going to say let's like sing a thing to.
Oh
go
yeah,
into
do a
the
jingle, shishi break jingle,
like how JR did.
Shishi break.
People are not going to believe you're a singer.
JR's was like this. Time for the shishi break.
Let's go on a shishi break.
All right, let's go.
I like that.
And
you can do it.
Sorry. I've seen enough episodes where I know what you say. And we're back.
See, you can do it.
Shishi break.
We're back.
You guys don't know how to do it.
I'm still practicing.
Yeah. I'm still learning. Kids will say, I'm too stupid to know. Why do kids add that vowel in there? Tua stupid.
I'm too stupid.
I don't know if they actually talk like that.
Yeah.
I haven't been around kids in a while.
Hey, it's Jackie Chan's birthday.
Is it?
It was.
It was.
This week.
It just passed.
This week,
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
65.
Dude, they're making another Rush Hour.
What? No way.
Yeah,
Are they
they
really?
are, right? Unless that's fake
At
news.
the age of 65.
Yeah. Can he even still do stunts? Well, I
Wow.
saw a picture of him and Chris Tucker, and they're like, they did some kind of polls, and I read a poll saying they're doing another Rush Hour 4, I think.
Wow.
And like,
How old
I
is
don't know.
Chris
I don't know if
Tucker?
it's true. I might be. I'm gonna look it up real
I
quick.
love Jackie Chan.
You know what? He's. I mean, as an Asian American, he really was one of the guys who paved the way to making Asians, the Asian stereotype of martial arts stronger than ever.
Yeah, so it's his
Yeah.
fault. It's his fault.
All
racist.
his fault. But in all seriousness, I think he really paved the way for people to really, see that there are some Asian American actors that can have a successful film.
Oh yeah.
And he also bridged the gap between, he played his part in bridging the gap between Asian Americans and the black community through Chris Tucker in that movie. I think.
And his movies were funny. They were
great.
cool. It was just so many I love Jackie Chan movies, honestly.
Yeah.
Some of my
Well,
favorites.
so Chris Tucker said a fourth film was definitely a possibility. They didn't say they're doing it. It's not in pre-production. They're working on a few things for the script, so they are working on something. But he said Jackie Chan wants to do it, he wants to do it, and the studio wants to do it. So it's going to happen.
Oh,
Most likely.
that's awesome.
Dude, that is awesome.
A lot of respect for a 65-year-old to do stunts like that.
And he does his own
Jeez.
stunts. That's
Yeah.
also like, who does that anymore? Well, I guess Tom Cruise, but
Yeah, but he's not
Who else?
65.
that's true. That is true.
Do you guys have a favorite Jackie Chan movie that you remember from childhood that you could watch at any point?
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour?
That was one of my
What about his
favorite,
older
yeah.
ones?
Like which ones? I mean, I know there's a lot.
Drunken Master,
but Rush Hour was my favorite. Rush Hour was so funny.
Rumble in the Bronx,
I don't even remember.
Meals on Wheels. Hello?
Are you making this up?
No, these are all his movies when he was really
Wow.
young. You guys never watched Rumble in the Bronx?
No. How old are you?
What, dude? Dude, Rumble in the Bronx
I
is
guess we're
so
just
good.
Fake Asians. Fake Asians.
Faktions.
Honestly,
Yeah.
go back and watch Rumble in the Bronx. It's really good.
I will. Yeah. In honor of.
You never
Jackie
watched
Chan.
Drunken Master?
I thought that was Bruce Lee.
No, dude. Legend of the Drunken Master. He's like this
I
kung
didn't see
fu.
that.
His dad is like a kung fu master, and then he learns these other stuff.
I think I saw Jackie Chan later in his career, like when he was doing funny things, not just action.
No, they were funny.
Oh, really?
They were really funny.
He's always
every
been comedy, right?
movie. Yeah, he's always put this little sense of humor is what I was going to say, and comedy. I was combining those two words, and then just in crazy amount of stunts and action. But I would go back and watch those. They're really good. I would say my favorite's
What
probably
made you think of that?
the movies.
No, Jackie Chan.
I didn't bring it up. You brought it
Oh
up.
yeah. What made you? Oh, you just thought you just.
You just thought of it.
Just
I
topical 'cause
read
he's
about it
65.
randomly.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
about.
Makes you feel kind of old yourself to think wow.
This guy's been around that long
He's-
and
yeah.
he's still doing things. Oh, you know what? He played the He was in Karate Kid, the new one.
I didn't actually see that one. Was it good?
Yeah, with Jaden Smith.
Oh,
I
the
liked
one.
it. Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wait. No, sorry. I was thinking of Cobra Kai.
We are all on
Confusing.
three different. What happened during the Shishi break?
All right,
Sorry,
sync
yeah.
each other. Ready? Hands in.
Yeah,
Hands in.
we're back in
3,
sync.
2,
and
1, sync.
Shishi, and we're back.
And
See,
we're
it's
back.
because you guys said it wrong. That's why. And we're back. Sorry, we got distracted during the Shishi break because one of my fish has a bubble by its butt.
Dude, congratulations, Ryan.
Thanks, man. So I have a guppy. I have a lot of guppies, but they're in this big tank, and one of them is giving birth, and I never see it. I never see it happening, and I finally there's like a little bubble there, so it's like the sac thing coming out, and we were just waiting for it, and it's not happening.
But at the same time, you don't want to miss it
I don't want to miss it
because you
I've
missed
never seen it.
every single other.
Yeah, I just see the babies.
pregnancy
I just
or
see the
birth.
babies. I'm like, when does this happen? It's the first time I'm seeing it happen, and we're here.
So to do
Great.
this podcast, you're missing your
The
grand-
sacrifice you're
is
making.
it your grandfish,
My grandkids.
grandkids?
But you know
fish?
what though? I'd still eat fish,
There you go.
and I love fish.
Boom.
I love fish.
You had
I'd
it-
still eat it.
You ate it last night.
I did. We had sushi.
Yeah.
Sorry to the vegan people. They
If
probably
you
already
could
left by
either
now. They
only
hate
pick
us.
meat or fish, what would you pick for the rest of your life? Boom, go.
Oh, meat.
Meat?
Yeah, because then I would have to eat.
I think you would pick fish.
No, just well, I mean, other than sushi.
Yeah,
like
but
what?
you eat a
no,
lot
but
of
I know, but
sushi.
does meat is like burgers and like steak
That's true.
and like
Covers a much wider like
there's more
of our
possibilities.
diet.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But fish is healthier for you.
Yeah. What would you choose? Will?
I don't know.
You're a meat guy.
I do like meat, but I do like. I mean, eating fish is. I feel like it's good for you. People.
It
like,
is.
Cultures that eat a lot of fish are usually pretty.
They live
healthy.
longer.
Yeah.
But you know
They
what?
live
The
longer.
fish that we have now, there's too much mercury in it.
You think so?
For sure. Like there's a lot of fish
In
have
every ocean, or is it only specific oceans?
How do you
I'm,
know
I'm
this?
not an expert, but I know that when people eat too much fish,
Yeah.
they get mercury poisoning.
Mm.
It happens a lot.
You know,
It's
in the
common,
same
actually.
way that like how I was saying, like I don't get to see the negative parts of like, you know, like the slaughtering of animals all the time. So you kind of just don't think about it
Yep.
a lot,
Yep.
and you kind of like it's kind of selfish, but at the same time, it's understandable. Like if you don't see something that often, you're not gonna be thinking about it all the time.
You
Out
have
of
a
sight, out of
disconnect.
mind.
Yeah. So I also heard like back when there was a tsunami in Japan that, you know, all that radioactive material went into the water and it was constantly spreading further and further and further. I remember like they said so many years from now, every fish that's imported from there that you're eating is going to be not infected, or I
It'll
guess
have, like, a
it has some
trace.
kind
It'll
of
have radiation. Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember hearing like, okay, this is already happening, and I've been eating fish. I haven't changed because I haven't. But if I read an article like today, I'll probably be like, oh, maybe I won't eat sushi today, but I'll probably eat it like later in the week.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. It's like we just forget, and like, I mean, I do at least.
That's the power of media. I mean, they can, you know, when you're
Yeah, you can
a huge
change.
corporation like that, you just tell people, hey, this is the story we want to put out. We want to put an emphasis on the fact that we're cleaning it up. You know, the radiation in the ocean, as opposed to them coming up with the story. This radiation is starting to affect everyone's fish.
Yeah.
Like that's the power that, you know, like big corporations have.
Yeah. And a separate note, but
Sucks.
it's related to what you were talking about earlier, is people don't really care about the lives of fish, which is kind of crazy to think
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
In
I
terms
know.
of like when we were talking about drawing the line, right?
Yeah.
With animals and mammals, like they're very heavily, they have emotions, they have feelings, blah, 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 and that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
Fish, it's very rare to
It's
see,
pretty rare.
to have someone, I feel like, defend fish in that way. Because like when I started fishing, that was one thing, was like, how do I dispose of the fish? Like in a moral way, right? And like some people say, like hit it over the head, right? And it'll just knock its lights out. And whether or not that's, you know, moral or instant or whatever, some people just throw it in a bucket and let it suffocate
I think
Or
it's
they'll put it
because
in
fish
water.
don't scream.
or make noise. That's
Yeah.
interesting to think. Yeah,
I think that's
never
what it.
thought
So
about
people
that.
can't relate to it as much, and they're also in the water, so we don't see them all the time.
Right.
Because imagine if you were to catch a cow, right, by shoving a hook through its mouth and like hooked onto its mouth, and it was like going crazy and screaming, you'd be like, damn, this is hard to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
But with a fish, you're just like, oh, it's flopping around, cute. You know, like, oh, you caught a fish, yay.
It's
you know?
actually, when I see fish and see the blood coming out, I still kind of like feel bad for it.
Oh, I do too. That was like when I started fishing, I kind of was like, I need to figure out a way of like how to morally dispose after I catch it and want to eat it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, if we were to ask the fish, what do you think the fish would say? What if the fish said, you know, actually the best thing for me is you probably should cut off my fin first. I prefer, like, it's like
saying
asking,
right now?
it's like asking someone, you know, like imagine if the fish could talk.
yeah,
What if there is a way to morally do it that the fish knows that's the least painful?
that'd be like someone asking you, "I'm going to eat you. How do you want me to kill you?"
Yeah, or
Through the
like
brain.
What if
Through the brain.
What if
Yeah.
by hitting it in the head? What if
you're being
What if what if you're stimulating something in the fish?
Or like knocking it out, but they can still feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's scary.
Well, regardless, I mean, I think people don't feel a certain way about fish for that exact reason, though. Still,
Right.
Or maybe it's a cold-blooded thing because people don't care as much about reptiles.
Ooh, true. Yeah.
Get them.
Cold blood.
Get them.
Damn, we're cold-blooded.
Damn.
Oh, speaking of which,
Just grab the
somebody-
fish by the sleeves.
I know. It's fin. Damn, you want to grab fins or what? Remember that was a comment you said earlier? That
Oh,
you
about
saw?
cold?
Yeah, we're cold-blooded, dude.
Yeah, well, I should have brought that up in the beginning. One of my favorite comments I read on one of the last podcasts, I don't remember it specifically, but it said something along the lines of how I always wear a sweater, right? I like wearing sweaters, and I look cozy and warm, And then you pan over to Ryan, and he's wearing like a t-shirt, and he's like, looks sweaty. And the comment was like, I just am so confused on what the temperature is in this room.
Yeah, people thought we might be either in different rooms or how big is this room? Like, it's not that big. Well,
let me say it's cold. It is cold in here. Ryan can handle the cold like a champion. Like it'll be
I love the cold.
Super cold outside. He's like wearing a t-shirt. I'm like, you're definitely cold.
People
He's like, no, I'm not. I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Like,
people always say like, oh, what, are you trying to be tough? No, I love the cold.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, Hawaii. And they're like, what? That doesn't make sense. And here's my explanation for that. When you grow up in Hawaii, at least for me, I grew up, it's so hot there, right? And there's no AC.
All
so
the time
sweating.
it's hot.
Yeah, like all the time. Most of the time it's hot. And it's the most uncomfortable thing because it's so like humid. People in Singapore, you guys can probably relate, except you guys are rich enough to have AC. I didn't have AC. It was horrible. The only time it felt great is when you walked into like supermarkets or like places that were cold. And it was such a luxury. I had one friend who had AC and they were like rich. And I was always like so excited to go to their house because it was so nice to just step in there. And ever since then, I guess I grew up just appreciating the cold.
Yeah. Do you think growing up, was it a thing of money to have an AC, or was it just the homes, like maybe when your parents bought homes back in the day, maybe it was just like people didn't think they needed ACs because it was like cool, like
we were like not rich. We were like, I would say like middle class. We weren't poor. We were like middle class, I would say. And they still would, my parents would still say like, that's a waste of money.
Yeah.
I actually ended up getting them AC.
Yeah.
But my mom was like, we don't need that.
Right.
So it's just in the living room and in my bedroom. So when I go back, it's like the ones that are on the wall. But it's I don't know. Yeah, it was still considered, I think, expensive. It's like a waste of money.
So it was
people. But
it was a luxury.
It was a luxury. Yeah. And I think that's why I love the cold.
Yeah.
And also I sweat easy. You know what? Sean's the same way, and he's from Hawaii.
He is.
I'm onto something.
Damn.
Hey, if there are any Hawaiians out there, do you like the cold?
And
I think that's why people think, oh, you're from Hawaii, you should like the warmth.
Yeah.
No. I think like people who grow up in like really cold, like Minnesota,
Right.
You would like the warmth because you hate the cold there, right?
I think that's why a lot of people, when they move, if they'd move from the Midwest or something, or somewhere where it's really cold, they have harsh winters, they move to like California, they're like, oh my God, the weather. I mean, it is nice in California.
Bet you Singaporeans are like me because it's so hot.
They just love the cold.
But the thing is, they have AC, a lot of them.
You might be onto something here.
I might be.
Could you imagine not having AC in Las Vegas?
We would probably be dead.
Probably die.
Dude.
If you really think about it, if shit went down, right, and like electricity got cut out, I think we're dead.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah. What would happen? Like during the summer, it hits like 115 degrees, 120 sometimes. And we're in the middle of the desert. Like if there was like an apocalypse, right, and we're all locked in here, we'd be dead during the summer. What would you do? There's nothing, like, how would we survive?
You would have to find just some shade or some water or something.
That's what they did back then.
Yeah. I mean,
people didn't want to they didn't live in the desert back then. We got tricked into living out here.
Some people did. I mean, that's how humanity, came to what it is today. Well, they had to live through it. I mean,
they went through it, but they're not like, hey, let's settle right here in the middle of nowhere.
It just shows the human spirit.
I wonder how fast we could adjust.
Power that we possess.
It's different to have like a kid who was born into a climate and then is raised their whole life. But if all of a sudden everything just like all our luxuries got shut off, I wonder how fast we would adjust to like our environment.
And would we evolve as humans? Would the next generation of kids have like really hot skin? And their body temperatures would be naturally at 105 instead of 98.6. I don't know.
Damn.
We'll never know.
I don't know why I brought that up. Oh, you know why I brought that up is because we were listening to a book called Sapiens, and that was pretty
highly recommended.
It was a long drive.
It was really cool,
but it was super interesting.
Yeah, that was a good book.
But if you would have saw us from an outside perspective, like three guys just sitting there listening to this book that sounds like a British lecture from like a college, you'd be like, "What the hell? What are these guys doing?"
That's what we do for fun.
But we were like genuinely into it.
No, I mean I thought it was super. Yeah. It was super intriguing.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. And it made me think like when people listen to this podcast, they're not really getting that much, right? It's like we're just talking about like.
I learned a lot.
What did you learn?
I learned a lot.
Name
of
one
things.
thing you've learned from this podcast. See? Maybe we need to start like going to school.
Reading more.
Yeah.
Become scholars.
You know what we should do is listen to more like educational stuff, and then we'll regurgitate in a dumb way for dumb people, because I don't like listening to smart people talk. It gets boring, you know, because I'm not smart.
My first lesson today, 2 + 2 = 4.
No. I mean, when I say dumb, I mean like
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
When I say dumb, I don't mean like we don't think. I just mean we're not necessarily Harvard grads.
Yeah.
You know. Did
not?
you graduate from college?
Harvard.
You did not. You dropped out. Huh?
You're like, no, you're dumb.
You dropped out, right?
So yeah, I got accepted to USC, and I was gonna go for music business.
Right.
And then that was the time I got signed to a publishing deal at a company called Warner Chappell Music.
And I
chose that path.
and I
instead.
dropped out because I wanted to pursue YouTube. And Will dropped out as well.
You did?
Yeah.
So
wow, I
we
didn't know
are
that.
3 dummies.
And then we're the team.
We're
Dropout
in
boys.
The dummies.
And we're back.
Dummies.
Yeah, so everything anyone's listening to right now, we will do our best to get more educational things and dumb it down for you naturally.
Not that you guys are dumb. It's because we're dumb.
We are dumb, yeah, but we'll make it fun.
Try.
So what do we learn from Sapiens?
That humans are strong.
That's not...
You mean the book?
Yeah.
I feel like I learned actually a lot. I
did
never
learn a
really
lot.
thought about how there was multiple species of like quote unquote humans at one
I think they
at
said
one
6,
point.
7, or 9. I forget
Yeah.
which number.
And then what we are today is Homo sapiens, but there was like the Neanderthals or Neanderthals, that's how he pronounced it.
Yeah.
And like all these other ones.
Yeah.
And
We're
we
the
don't
ones that survived.
we don't really
essentially.
know, I don't think, how
Yeah.
we became the last ones to survive. He was
The
definitely
apex predators.
Yeah. He was saying there could have been like we could have extinguished them or
What
extinguished?
I found interesting
out.
was that because, and this is the only thing I really took away. Not that I only took away this, but
Yeah.
I thought it was so interesting that how he was saying we've evolved so that our brains are bigger than like apes, right? And the reason why we're so weak is because our brains are so big and it requires so much energy.
We compared to the chimpanzees and the apes that are
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And he was saying that and what made us talk, he didn't say this. This is us, hearing that and going on. You know how they draw aliens and they show aliens like your stereotypical alien has a gigantic head and a smaller body.
Right.
And that's your stereotypical alien, a small body, gigantic head. At least that's what we hear. If you think about it, what if they're just the evolved versions of humans? Because I mean, there's a conspiracy theory already that that's what it is.
Yeah.
That aliens are just super evolved humans in the future.
Conspiracy theory time.
it's
That's
like-
my favorite.
It's like battle of the minds as opposed to physical strength,
Right,
which is like what animals have to do.
Yeah.
It's all based off of speed and strength, right?
Right.
With human beings, we've come to evolve to become a society where we don't need to actually physically fight. And,
Yeah. Because we're smart.
Exert dominance.
We learned that our brains make us the most powerful thing because we can shoot. We invented guns, so we can shoot an ape. Whereas if we were going one-on-one in a physical battle, the ape would tear us apart.
Yep.
But because of our brains, it's our most powerful gift. But that also is why we're so physically weak. There's no thing that's as strong as an ape and as smart as a human because it would be too much energy to repower that brain.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So aliens, you know what that means?
What?
We'd kick some alien ass.
Physically.
But then they'd probably have super guns and then super shoot us.
Yeah.
Super kill us.
They already won.
Yeah. I mean, for all we know, we're already in their gun. We're in their world that they created.
That's like our dummy Homo sapien way. They got super guns and they super shoot us.
Oh my god.
They got super guns. You know what? We're gonna listen to more and we will update you guys. I think it's been like
2.
Yeah, I really think. Oh, well, you're leaving.
Hey,
you gotta come back.
You
You
guys
gotta
can.
come back.
I'll be back someday.
Yeah, we gotta get more negative comments.
Yeah, guys, leave some negative comments for
No,
David, please.
What was it, David? The can of balls.
Cannonballs.
David is a can of balls.
I'm just a sack of canned balls.
You didn't have to take it there, but
I'm sorry, guys.
I really think we should learn more so that we can be we gotta get better at this. We gotta help educate our listeners.
Yeah.
in
I
a
realize,
dumb way.
I feel like as we do the podcast, I realize that being able to like conversate and watch it back it's pretty crazy. Like how you say, like, I feel like Paco naturally is a good at holding a conversation and speaking and stuff like that.
He loves to talk.
He loves to talk. Yeah. And I feel like it's hard. It's a hard skill.
He's a great entertainer.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, that's out of everybody in RHBC, I was like, he needs to be on it because this is his gift.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like, oh, I'll write a skit for him.
Sure.
He would want to do it his own way, but when he's just being him, like, that's best.
Yeah.
Not when he's like not trying to make you laugh. It's funny to me.
And you can see it through the podcast because that's essentially what it is.
And I think he would love to hear us saying this type of thing
He ain't gonna watch this. He's
Hi,
so
Paco.
lazy.
Do you think he'll watch this?
I don't think I mean, if he does, he knows that we're ending, since he probably would have skipped it, like the ending.
All right, we'll see.
I miss you,
that.
Paco. You're a great person.
Yeah, he comes back tomorrow from Japan.
Yeah.
Or not tomorrow, I guess when this comes out. He just came back.
Yep.
I guess, with that being said, wrap this up. But I do think, man, I wish we brought this up earlier.
What?
Huh? The whole alien thing, because I think we're on to something.
Oh, I think so too.
And I don't think we're the first ones, because I've seen something similar. I just don't remember the videos.
You can continue this in the next episode of Off the Pill.
I like these topics with David because David, I know he thinks about these.
He's more skeptical than I am.
Yeah, and he brings like a nice side of that.
I mean, I'm pretty skeptical too, though. But I like to have fun with it.
We'll talk about it next time with David then.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, well, thanks again for tuning to the thanks again for tuning into the Off the Pill podcast. Remember, our Twitter is @OffThePill. Instagram is @OffThePill podcast. We still can't do you know people there, right? Like, could we just get both of them to say Off the Pill podcast?
Maybe.
Or Off the Pill?
We'll look into it. I mean, you could look into it.
I don't really know people there. I need to step my Instagram game up. Will, you've been good.
I've been good, yeah.
And actually, you've been good too. You do stories and stuff.
I do stories sometimes. Man,
we didn't do viewer questions this week.
We didn't.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah, we'll do it
because it's my favorite part.
I know. Sorry, guys. That being said, you know how to end this.
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1. I wonder if people hate this part. Because I feel like...
You want to ask them?
The purple elephants. Do you remember people say
purple elephants?
No, we should leave a new code today.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll just put the David. David is a can of balls.
Can of balls.
David is a can of balls.
Yeah,
I like that
leave
one.
that. I mean, they probably, if you didn't make it that far, you probably won't. Whatever.
Can of balls.
See
See you guys next time. Peace.